And so we followed our protocols. We brought it up in a council meeting. We scheduled a work session where we talked about it. And then we were scheduling another meeting to vote on whether we would institute a mask policy. And then the governor stepped in. There was 48 hours between the work session and the next meeting. And she stepped in, I believe, the day in between that and put in a mask policy for the state, which was the right thing to do. When you're a community where you have people from multiple counties and even other states that come to your community to work every day, it's much better that those kind of rules are statewide, broad rules instead of just kind of community rules, because there's a lot of confusion. It would have put our police in a very difficult position of telling people, you don't have a mask on. Well, in my community, I don't have to wear a mask. Well, you're in Auburn now. I mean, it just would have been awkward and more difficult. And I appreciate the governor stepping in and doing that. But we had a very emotional work session that day where we had a number of people that spoke to the council. The council was very divided on the issue. It's still to this day, Mike, I'm not sure how that vote would have come down on whether we would have instituted a citywide mask policy. Then we went into the whole issue of what goes on at the student bars, and there was continued pressure being put upon us that the students in the bars were a danger for the community, that the students were not as concerned with the spreading of the disease as the rest of the community was. And the problem is that there's so much integration of students and regular citizens, normal citizens, that there was just this very, there was a heightened awareness of how the spread could perpetuate itself into the community. And so we were trying to figure out, well, how can we stop that? And so we kind of came up with this rule that if you receive something to drink in a bar, you had to be sitting down. Yeah. And look, the pressure was immense coming from parents and coming from the university. And the reality is that the virus had gotten out of hand on campus, Mike. We were facing the fact that the students would have all gone home.
Yeah.
And for that would have been devastating to our local economy. So it's in Auburn's best interest for the students to remain in our city, but we had to try to, what we thought was the best policy at that time was to try to make them conform to a different way of living life when it regards to their gatherings.